Hello everybody, JGC Anime here, and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to be doing a review on Seton Academy. For a while, I always pronounced it Seton, even though there's no N there, so if I accidentally say Seton Academy from time to time, I apologize. That's just kind of how I roll with the name of this thing, because it's really hard to remember half the time. So yeah, let's just hop right into this review. So, basically a story summary. In this world, animals and humans and like every single animal is like the same amount of smart. Like they can all talk and they can all do things humans can, and basically the whole world is just basically every type of animal is a human in a way. And what's really interesting about this show is that it focuses on the main character who absolutely despises animals. And he's one of the only two humans in that entire school he goes to, which is Seton Academy in the series. And right at the beginning, he meets this wolf pup girl who ends up deciding to come close to him just because he knew how to tame a dog in a way. And yeah, so they end up going on wacky hijinks. We meet a bunch of different animal people, and one of the funniest things about this show is the fact that all the female animals are like humanish animals. Like they look like part human, part animal, and yet the male animals just look actually like if the animals were humans. So I thought that was a funny little touch I noticed. But so let's just talk about things I liked in this series. So I liked a lot of the characters. There were some I generally did not care for, but a lot of them I actually really liked. Like there's this one story where like one character, like an animal, falls in love with another animal that's normally its prey, kind of like a Romeo and Juliet setup, and it's really funny to see them develop, and it's just such a funny story. And there's a lot of good stories in this series. There's never like a one consistent story. It's a very like all over the place story. It's very funny. It's like just a bunch of fun. And the funny thing actually is that the only reason I checked out this series was because I thought some of the clips I'd seen were hilarious. And if there's one thing I have to say about, there's one fun fact I can share. This is probably the first anime I've watched English subbed that I finished. I finished plenty after that point, but that was the first one I ever actually finished. I'd always stuck to dubbed anime before that point. So that was the first time I ever watched a subbed anime to the end. So basically I really like the comedy in the show. I really like its characters. I think the story's really good. There are also some characters I don't like, but I think some of the things I don't like is definitely its ending. It had this really kind of dumb finale I could barely follow along with. I didn't think it was a bad finale. I just think it was a very under the radar finale. Like you wouldn't even pay attention to it. It didn't even really do that much. And it was quite confusing at times. It kind of was just, well, it was meh. I really didn't like the ending that much, and I really think it could have been better. But for most of the show, it was really entertaining. I'd probably have to say my favorite character in the show is either the main character guy or the panda girl who appears in episode 6, I believe. Or somewhere around that point. There's this panda girl who she's just like Darkness from Konosuba, where if she's being demanded upon, where like the main character at some point will be like, "Are you kidding me, you stupid panda? Do the work." And the panda actually seems to enjoy that. That made me laugh really hard. I don't know, I was just immediately thinking, that's basically Darkness from Konosuba. If you don't know what Konosuba is, it's another isekai anime. It's where the character Darkness gets turned on by ridicule and suffering from like sexual stuff. I don't know, but just seeing that kind of stuff was just really funny to me. So I really like a lot of the characters in this. I thought a lot of them were really good. And as spoiler-free thoughts, I generally say this is a lot of fun. Of course, the ending was really not that interesting. I really lost interest in the ending. I loved a lot of the stories that took place in this series, and I really had a lot of fun watching these characters in this world. It was all really interesting. And while there were some, I wish we could expand more upon the main character. Well, we got some, like, ideas about who he was, but overall, he wasn't that, like, mega impressive. he was fine, he was funny, but I don't know, I just feel like we could have done more with him. He really could have gotten more attention as a character than just the I hate animals and all that stuff. It really could have been more developed, but I still had a lot of fun with this series. I thought it was very entertaining. So we're about to dive into the spoiler section now. Here's a timestamp to when the spoiler section ends, and we'll be going to the conclusion where I'll be writing, well, basically saying what the final review is. So go there. I'm going to count down from 5. If you're still here after that, there's spoilers. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we are now in the spoiler section. So, one thing I think one of the many reasons I was thrown off by this finale was, like, the finale is about how these animals that are about to go extinct, or like they're on the very verge of extinction, all get together to go against humans because they hate humans due to humans being the ones who hunted them down and killed their kind. That could have worked, I guess, but there was the one character that was introduced, which was basically like an animal-human hybrid type thing, was really weird. I really didn't understand, and I didn't even look if it was an actual animal or not, but it was a weird character. I didn't entirely understand. I thought the whole final arc could have had some interesting plot, but overall it was just kind of a thing I was just thinking, oh great, here we go, and really was not interested. But like I said before, the scene where the main character like completely just roughs down on the panda, going like, "You stupid panda! If you want these things, you're gonna have to do them yourself." I could not stop laughing. And it was also the same with this other scene where the wolf girl that the guy unintentionally tamed, her older sister came in to see how her little sister was doing, and because the little sister had gotten so close to the human guy, the whole situation was just hilarious, and the older sister was just a hilarious character. And I'm also really happy with the constant reoccurring characters in this show. Like, I really thought some of these stories would just be like one thing, like one-off thing, like the story between, I think it's the lion and the gazelle. I'm not sure if it's a gazelle or not. I can't remember too well. I think it's a gazelle. Where the lion likes the gazelle, but doesn't know how to explain it to her, and then at the very end of the episode, he manages to connect with her, and they agree to start as friends, to the point where they actually do end up in a relationship. Now, I thought that was just going to be like a one-off thing, but surprisingly, it was very consistent. Like, every now and again, like every other episode or so, they would have us developing those two characters more, and I loved that story. It was so much fun to watch, seeing the lion just be like, "I'm gonna do anything to win her over. No, why'd you leave me? Oh, I'm gonna bring her back." It was so funny to see this lion character. He was probably one of my favorite characters in the show. And overall, the whole storyline of that was just as entertaining as the main story, maybe even more entertaining. I had a lot of fun with that, and like I know I say I had a lot of fun with that. I hope people don't take it as I wrote that, because I did not. I did not make this series. If I did, I don't know what I'd do. It's a really crazy concept that I never considered. However, I really do like a lot of it, and also its opening. I love the opening to this show. I've re-listened to it so many times. It just sounds so childish and innocent, yet so like crazy. I love it, and it's just a lot of fun. I know I'm saying a lot of fun, but if I had to think of a character that I wasn't that much of a fan of, I'd probably have to say the sloth girl. I didn't hate her. It was more of a she kind of didn't do anything type situation, where she got a story arc where she learned to swim and move a little bit faster and stuff like that. But it was fine. It was fine. The chimpanzees that they had to face were kind of annoying in that story, but it was okay. The story was kind of okay. While I admit the later stories in the series were a lot less entertaining, the beginning bits were hilarious and I had a lot of fun. And just the whole cast of characters was so unique, and I love the fact that they didn't just try to throw in animals and go like, this is meant to be funny. if I actually think about it, there's actually this really funny scene I can't stop laughing at, where a zebra girl tries to act all high and mighty with everyone, and then the main character's just like, zebras are donkeys, not horses. And then when she says, just prove it, he just pulls up her tail, literally just flips her skirt up and shows her tail, revealing it's a donkey tail in a way. And while I wasn't too comfortable at times around that scene, him just proving it and everyone just being like, oh yeah, he's right. I love that. It was brilliantly executed. I love that part. And overall, the show was just kind of fun. It was a very goofy, fun show. It just was a very charmful and just a lot of fun. So, I guess we're at the conclusion now. If I had to say one thing about the show, it's that it's just funny. I wouldn't say the story is entirely too strong, but it's funny. I have a lot of fun watching this show. If there was a season 2, I'd probably watch it. A lot of the characters are likable. There are a few annoying ones, but overall it's still a lot of fun to watch. And I'd probably rate this a 6 out of 10. I would have given a 7 if I thought this finale was good, but the finale is bad habit, and its later stories not being as interesting, it was kind of a downside. I like episodes 1 through 6, but everything past that point kind of goes downhill in a way, but I just accept it as part of the series, but it's a fun series. It's not the most phenomenal thing I've watched, but it's definitely fun. If you want to give it a watch, you can. If you don't have to, but I'd recommend giving it at least one watch. It is worth at least trying to watch once, and I had a lot of fun with it myself. And maybe you will too. I'm JGC Anime. Thank you for listening to my review, and I shall see you all around. Peace.